Coming up this week on High School Sports Weekly, brought to you by OS1 Sports Injury Clinic.
We'll be talking about some state champions, and it's on the wrestling mat, Vestavia Hills.
That's right. We'll also catch up with the Oak Mountain High School softball team and the Spain Park baseball team.
And our athlete spotlight will shine on a bowler from Vestavia Hills as well.
We'll also check in with basketball and look at those final standings in the state tournament. All of that and more coming up on High School Sports Weekly.
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of High School Sports Weekly. Susan, state championships from the wrestling standpoint have focused on two programs in our area for a long time.
That's right. The past 11 years, it's either been Vestavia or Thompson. This year, it was Vestavia that came out on top, and I got a chance to go over to the high school and meet with their wrestling team. All right, guys. Well, first of all, congratulations on your state championship. That's really exciting. I know Vestavia has a long history of being amazing at wrestling, so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. But before we get into this year, tell me a little bit about each of you and how you got into wrestling.
When I was younger, my dad put me in when I was like 5 years old, and wasn't very good at the beginning, but ever since then I just stuck with it, and it's just been a part of my life.
I've been doing it because my bros, they've been doing it their whole lives, so have I.
I started a long time ago with my neighbor, and then he quit, but I kept wrestling.
So I moved to Vestavia in 7th grade, and where I was from, they didn't have a wrestling team, and I remember being interested about wrestling. And then when I moved to Vestavia, someone told me about it, and I just joined, and I almost quit, but my dad told me to keep going, so now we're here.
Well, tell me, how does it feel to be state champions?
Pretty good.
Team state felt really, really good because it was everybody in the room working together. And individual state felt really good too, but team state was probably the best.
How does it feel, guys?
It was probably more exciting when we won the team state than it was individual.
Well, and I read that you guys set a new record for 7A, scoring 277.5 points. Is that right? So, I mean, not only did you win the state championship, you guys set a record as a team. Mm-hmm. Great. Well, I understand that it's really been a Vestavia-Thompson. You've kind of passed the state championship back and forth for many, 11 years now. So tell me a little bit about the rivalry with Thompson. What does that feel like?
Well, I mean, they're really good, obviously. The past few years we haven't been able to beat them. And then this year, they killed us. And then we had to come to the Jesus meeting, and we got to work, and beating them this year was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. Tell
me a little bit about Coach Adams. I know he grew up here at Vestavia. He wrestled for Vestavia. Tell me about him.
He's not very good at wrestling. I'm just kidding. I took him down a couple times. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I did.
We may have to get him on here to defend himself.
I actually never He's a coach when he needs to be. He's also a friend, and I respect that a lot. He knows when to be serious and knows when to play. And I think he knows what he's doing.
Going for Coach Adams, I can't say that I would have even placed in state because there was a lot of things I was dealing with. I hurt my knee. I was dealing with a lot of personal things, and I came to him. He helped me out a lot and made me realize I can push through all these things. He's been a great role model for me, and I kind of didn't get to see it till this year. And looking back, I realized all the times he's ever been there for me, and I'm gonna miss him a lot.
So what do y'all think it was that, you mentioned the turning point, the Come to Jesus meeting, where you were a different team after that. What was it that really caused that? Was it just the drive to win? Was it the fact that you felt like you weren't winning? What was behind that?
We got killed by Thompson in December, and then we all came together and just talked, and we went out, and Coach Adams just said, like, figure it out between y'all.
Yeah.
And then we did.
So it was really the team that figured it out
Yeah.
together.
So yeah, it was maybe a little push from him, little running. Other than that, but yeah, we came together on our own. It's been a fun ride.
Good. Well, congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, softball season's now in full swing, and our own Donette Logan had the chance to meet some of the Oak Mountain High School players as well as their head coach.
We're joined now by Oak Mountain softball team. Ladies coach, thank you guys so much for joining us. I want to start out with you, Lacey. So what year are you at Oak Mountain?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior, so you've kind of watched this team grow and develop. What are some of the strengths you think you guys have on the field this season?
Our team chemistry, for sure. We're all really close. We all know each other really well. We work together on the field really, really well.
You kind of set me up for that. It's your first year here. So you walk into a team of ladies that have a chemistry. What did you see when you first got here with these ladies?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The first thing I saw when I got here was how connected they all are and how they love each other and they like being around each other, which isn't always the case in the softball world. But yeah, we have 6 seniors. Here's 3 of them, and they do a great job of leading. So one thing I've kind of been able to do this fall and then into this spring is kind of step back and let them be leaders on and off the field. And so I can do my job as a coach, but also let them be great leaders. And that's a sure sign of a good team when you have players that can lead.
Don, you guys, your season got cut last year. You really didn't get the chance to play, and you are now. Do you think that set some setbacks for you guys, or how did you stay active and stay in shape for the season?
We do a lot of work on our own time, and we've really focused on practice and stuff. And I think we're really motivated this year to get the most out of this season since we didn't get one last year, and it's actually boosting us a little bit.
Riley, I know one challenge for our senior athletes is obviously the recruiting side. Our college recruiters are not as able to travel as they normally are. What are you guys doing to kind of get their attention and let them see you guys and see what you have to offer at their colleges?
Really, you just send them as much film as you can, videos, anything you have, or just go out to the field, take some swings, take some ground balls or fly balls and send it to them, email them, just keep in contact with them as much as you can.
Lacey, tell me about your team. How many underclassmen do you have on your team?
We have 9 freshmen or something like that. We have like 4 sophomores and about 4 juniors.
So when you know you have a younger team like that and you guys are the ones leading them and developing them, do you think that's some challenges there, or you guys, what do you think the benefit is of that?
Personally, I don't think it's a challenge. I think we all lead in different ways, and I think they look up to us for the most part. So I think that when we act as good teammates on the field, they follow it, and it hasn't really created any challenges.
Don, if you had to pick a team this season that would be your biggest obstacle, who do you think that would be?
Probably Spain Park.
And why is that?
They have a very good pitcher.
You've got one too.
Yeah. I mean, Lacey's an obstacle for them too.
Yeah.
Just as much as she is for us. I think it'd be a good game.
And that's one thing with softball. You may win or lose the first one, but you're going to have a series going. You guys are off to a decent start. I know Mother Nature's kind of kept you off of the field just a little bit. When you know your schedule's getting kind of pushed back some because of Mother Nature, you had COVID last year, what are you guys looking ahead for the rest of the season?
It's really who has the most fight in them, who's more flexible and who can play whenever and wherever, and who can play the best at those times.
Coach, I'm going to end with you. We come out to watch your ladies on the field. What do you think some of the things we need to look for are?
Again, our chemistry is out of this world in my mind. Like we've established here, we've got 3 incredible seniors that kind of lead us defensively. Lacey on the mound just does an incredible job, gets our defense fired up, and then all 3 of these ladies swing the bat too. So we've scored consistently. We're averaging about 10 runs a game, and then our pitching is there as well. So we're just a well-rounded team that hopefully if we peak at the right time, we can make some noise. We've got the toughest area in the state by far. So when they say Spain Park poses a threat, we've also got Hewitt and Vestavia. They can also play, but we're right there with them. So our area is going to be it's going to be quite a show down the stretch. So we're excited for it.
7A Region 3 is always one of the toughest, I think, in every sport. Ladies, you guys are off to a fantastic start. I can't wait to see the season progress for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Patsy. I'm imaging and medical assistant here at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. We treat a multitude of injuries, overuse injuries that can include anything from extended computer use. I know a lot of people are working from home these days. They have carpal tunnel, elbow, or injuries from extensive use of their tendons. Even when you're walking in the park, people have injuries from their ankles or just overuse things. So you don't necessarily have to have an actual injury like stepping off the curb or twisting an ankle to have an overuse of your tendon. And some of those require imaging, and we also have an MRI on site if that's the next step for your injury or that your injury requires. So we're very easy, we're very convenient, we have everything you need here. Include bracing, splinting, or anything that you require. So come and see us at OS1.
Vestavia Hills High School's bowling team came up just a tad short this season on bringing home the state championship. After winning the championship in 2019, the team has risen to a status where a semifinal finish is still a bit disappointing for them. But when you look at how the team has grown the last 4 years, you can see the Rebels have a lot to be proud of. As Donette Logan tells us, one last name has been heard during those years: Reed.
You can call it a family affair.
You know, I laugh that you see football players out and they're only out for a play and they come back and mom can kind of take a breath. But when all three of your kids are doing the same sport, there is no break. It's nerve-wracking for a parent.
You heard right. Not one, not two, but all three of her sons were in the same sport. And for a moment, all three bowled for Vestavia Hills High School at the same time. But now the youngest, Walter Reed, is making a name for himself.
I'll probably get a text about this once this interview breaks, but I think he's the best of them.
Leading the Rebels through 4 stellar seasons, Walter's drive may have come from more than the desire to add a trophy to the trophy case.
I would say it's even worse than a state championship because it's, you got all the bragging rights because I get to live with these guys. So I got to go home and be like, guess who beat in bowling today?
But the bragging rights stopped there with his brothers. Walter's extremely humble about his success and knows it would not have been possible if he hadn't worked for it.
Well, I started at a very young age. I was about in 4th grade and my brother was in 6th. And it started as a hobby because I was never really good at it in a young age. But as I grew and, got more physical with it, you could see my pins raised and my average got higher, and I just would be able to control the ball more.
It's been cool to kind of see him grow up as a young man, where he's progressed from being a 9th grader on our team and being on our state championship team to watch him assume a leadership role now, going from being one of the guys that was looking to be led to being the leader. It's been pretty cool to watch that.
But Walter's talents go beyond the pins.
Away from bowling, I'm in theater. I'm a big onstage personality. I love, being in the lights and singing my heart out and acting and performing for people.
Gosh, the Lord has really blessed him and given him not only a sport talent, but a talent of singing, and he can use his voice to bring joy to other people.
It's a talent that Walter didn't really discover till later in life. In fact, he will tell you this is his first real year of acting. But even with it being new to him, he sees every opportunity it has to offer and even earned a lead role.
It's honestly really fun to just have not all the attention on me, but to be at a place like that where your voice is heard and you're seen everywhere you go. You have a job to uphold, and when you do it perfectly, you get rewarded for it, and it's just really fun.
Over the Christmas holiday, he had the lead in Elf the musical. He was Buddy, and I surprised him and came to opening night, and he didn't know I was going to be there. And I remember watching him walk out on stage, and I just started crying. I couldn't believe how good he was, and it just floored me. I've seen him perform and I've seen him do, but to be a lead for the first time and watch that transformation from my baby to this almost adult who has taken on this role and learned these parts and these songs and dancing, it was just breathtaking to me.
It's a transformation that we may all get a chance to see as Walter heads off to the Plains this fall.
In college, I'm going to be a civil engineer, and I'm going to minor in musical theater at Auburn.
One thing is for sure, when you meet Walter Reed, he leaves an impression on you. And his mom, Suzanne, sums it up pretty well.
To me, he's an amazing kid. He had a rough childhood. We had some family issues, but Walter has stuck to who he is as a believer in Christ, and he's just amazing. Sorry.
Donette Logan, High School Sports Weekly.
Well, baseball is firing up across our region, and Spain Park is looking to have another competitive season.
We have a few members of the Spain Park baseball team with us. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. Coach, I want to start with you. You guys were out to a strong start before the season was canceled last year. You had an experienced team, a lot of knowledge on there, and it was cut short. Now you have a young team. Let's talk about your team a little bit and kind of starting this season off with that younger group.
Yes, ma'am, you're exactly right. We had won, I think, 9 out of our last 10 last year before COVID hit. And we had 12 seniors in last year's group, 8 starters. And, when it hit, personally I thought, well, we'll be back in a week. And the next time that I saw the complete group together was in July at our banquet. So not having that year, from an experience standpoint, and then starting basically at scratch with having to replace 8 starters. Eli was one of the few pitchers that we had that had any varsity experience coming back from last year. There were a lot of unknowns. I'll say this: we had a really good fall. This group, in general, has been a really close group all the way up. The majority of them are friends. They hang out a lot together, and so we use that to our advantage. And they're comfortable with each other, and that's kind of led to a little bit of our success that we've had so far. But we still got a long way to go.
Eli, I want to go to you. You're one of the pitchers who's come back this year, and I think for you guys, the pitching is what's going to be key for you guys this season. Let's talk about that and you guys in the bullpen. How's your strength there?
Like your coach said, we're a pretty young team. Last year we had definitely a lot more upperclassmen, a lot more seniors, a lot of guys with more experience. But I feel like we're doing pretty well this year. Myself, Harrison Holcomb, Jake Majors, a young guy. He's a junior. He's been really good for us. So I feel like definitely as far as when we get to area play, we're definitely going to probably have to staff some games and kind of just get through them and hope for the best. But I feel pretty good about it as of right now.
Connor, you made a position change this season, and I know that kind of goes with team sports. Sometimes you got to adjust to help your team. What is that new role like for you?
So it just I kind of took it as being more of a leader, because I was a starter last year, and not many guys this year have as much experience. So I just kind of take that as a leadership role, kind of being a good leader for the team, making sure everybody stays positive. But it also it changed my perspective, get on the other side of the field, having to kind of change how I view the game. It's not too difficult, but there's definitely still some learning to do.
Trent, the three of you guys are kind of in almost an elite group this year because you have signed, and we've seen so many seniors being overlooked because of 1 year of eligibility left or the portal. Do you think there's a benefit knowing that you guys have that locked in, that's less stress you have this year, or is it? Talk about that next chapter for you guys and how it's affecting this year.
Yes, ma'am. I think it's an advantage just because, it's kind of puts us in a place as a leader on the team, knowing that we can play at the next level.
Coach, what do you think we can see from you guys in the field this season?
Well, so far the team has really demonstrated a characteristic that they don't quit. We've had several games, and it's we've just gotten into March. That through February, as expected, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, and they've shown an ability to be coached, which is very unique, and we've got a lot of, like I said, a long way to go, but so far, I've been very pleased with their hunger and their drive to be coached and want to be better the next day, and that's something that I hopefully that we will continue to do throughout the remainder of the year.
Last question: where can they find your schedule?
Our schedule is on Spain Park Athletics. It's under the baseball side, and we'd love to have you out at the park.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks and good luck this season.
Thank you so much.
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. We've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
Hey everyone, my name is Rachel Brown. I am a softball scout for National Scouting Report, and this is the NSR Recruiting Roundtable. High school spring sports are now in full swing, and for most of these sports, they also have travel seasons that happen throughout the rest of the year. So a question I get a lot as a former softball player and current scout is my high school season worth it? And the answer is yes. Any opportunity you get to get on the field and get better is one that you need to take. Your college coaches are going to expect you to get better from your freshman season to your senior season, so go ahead now, again, take this opportunity to get out there and get better. Not only that, but some of the best memories that you will have will be made during your high school season. You're going to have a ton of fun going out, taking pride in your school, and competing for a championship. And let me remind you, this same thing will be expected of you at the next level. So as far as recruiting goes, what should you be doing now? You'll notice that not a lot of college coaches are out at games right now because they're busy with their own seasons that are going on. So take this time to get some really good game footage together and start sending that out to the college coaches. That way you have the opportunity to get on their watch list when they can come see you play, which would probably be summer. If you want to be scouted this spring by one of our scouts, please contact me or visit our website, and we will get you in touch with the appropriate scout in your area. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.
Well, the next time we talk to you here on High School Sports Weekly, brought to you by OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, we know we're going to have state champions in both boys and girls basketball from our area. We just don't know who it's going to be yet, but we know that it's guaranteed to be a local team that claims the titles.
That's right. Excited to find out who that's going to be, and we will let you know. Also want to wish a very special happy birthday to our producer, Philip Pritchard.
Old guy, but we won't say how old. Thanks to you for joining us. We'll see you next time here on High School Sports Weekly.